Okay, so like you know how last Thanksgiving or whatever some weird shit happened. All right, so this Thanksgiving weird shit happened too, right? So I was having my turkey and ham and all that, right? And this time there wasn't there no one was like arguing about like Kyle Rittenhouse this time. Luckily, there was no like political debate discourse in the background while I'm trying to eat my fucking turkey leg or whatever. But my grandma was like, "Seth, did you know my neighbor had a brain tumor and he thinks he's a pirate now?" I'm like, what the fuck? You can think that you can just like, if you get a brain tumor, you can just like turn into like a fucking pirate, man? Like, yeah. And she's like, yeah, so now. And yeah, it was really fitting because I was like reading One Piece at the time. I'm like, damn, this is just like Luffy. Like, but for real, apparently the neighbor thought he was fucking a pirate now. So he buys the fucking pirate flag, puts it in his front yard. He's building a pirate ship in his backyard. And then my grandma's like, and guess what's the craziest part? He has a fucking cannon aimed at my house. I'm like, a cannon? Like a fucking. And I was like, what do you mean? Like a pirate ship cannon aimed at her house. And I'm like, why the fuck would he aim a pirate ship cannon at your house? And she's like, it's because, Seth, it's because I have a pine tree on my porch that they really want me to cut down. And so they don't like me. So my neighbor points a fucking cannon at her house. Like a fucking old school pirate ship cannon. Because he had a brain tumor, dude. He's freaking out. So, alright. So I go home, right? So I go home. I Uber back because I'm scared of driving, right? I'm a little bitch. I piss my pants, whatever. I don't give a fuck, okay? So I Uber back home. And then I'm like, you know what? I need to like work with like my advertisers before I upload tomorrow. So like I was like, let me get some fucking caffeine, right? Like let me get a fucking drink. So I go across the street, I go to the fucking 7-Eleven, and I'm waiting in line, and there's this girl, she's like tripping. She's tripping, right? There's a lot of homeless people, downtown, right? So I was like, but she didn't look homeless. She was just tripping. And I guess it is Thanksgiving, so she was probably just fucked up because of the holidays, right? So I'm waiting in line behind her, and she's just like, she was so fucked up that she would like grab a piece of chocolate, and then she would just start describing what chocolate was like in full detail. Like she was just describing every quality of just milk chocolate when she grabbed it, and then she just puts it back slowly. I'm like,
Oh my
okay, this
god.
bitch is fucked up, right? Like this shit weird. And so she goes forward or whatever, and then she just knocks over the shelf next to the counter on accident, and she's like, I'm so sorry, it just fell over in slow motion. I must have just made it fall faster and shit. And then the guy at the counter is like, "Oh yeah, it must have been like the shelf elves or something. They must have knocked it over on accident or something." And she's like, "Did you know elves are probably real?" I'm like, "What the fuck is going on?" And he's like, "Yeah, yeah." And he's like, "Yeah, maybe." And then she's like, Did you ever hear about those little skeletons that were found on that island, and they're like half the size of real people?" And he's like, "Yeah, I know what you're talking about." He's like, "It's like the Flora Islands or something." And so they start having a full fucking conversation about how elf people are real, and how there's like these half-sized zebra human skeletons on an island, and like how volcanoes erupting made Caucasian people and shit. And then I was like, I was walking home, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like I was like, what were they talking about? Bruh, be real with me though. Is there really an island with like elf-sized skeleton people? Be real. Is that because they were talking like it was real? So either the guy at the counter was like just a good actor, just playing along with this bitch tripping, or like they're talking about some kind of conspiracy. Like I was like, is it, what? Because they sounded so sure about it. What is it? Is it real? What is it from? So I was like, I was just having like a fucking like existential crisis, just walking home. Like, are elf people real? Like, oh my god, like what the hell? The cashier was definitely bored. He was funny though. He was funny though. But he was talking like it was some real shit, and the girl was like, "Really?" Like they're breaking down like why different races of people exist and shit. I was like, I don't know. It was funny though. It was funny. So that was my Thanksgiving. Um, I went to Canada for like 10 days. Right. So I live like I went to Canada for like Halloween or whatever because like my friends live in Canada. Right. And Canada was like that shit was cold, bro. Like it was cold as fuck. Like it was so weirdly cold and like I don't know, dry. Like there was like a dryness to it that it my lips literally split apart and like were just bleeding cuz just like existing in Canada. Like my lips would just bleed from just existing there. Like I was like allergic to Canada or something. It was weird as fuck. So I went there for like Halloween or whatever because there's like a lot of shit to do or whatever for Halloween there. There's like the houses and these like raves or whatever the fuck. There's a lot of shit. So the day before Halloween, right? The day before Halloween, guess what happens? My ass gets COVID. I get COVID the day before Halloween. The whole reason I went there. The whole reason went there, I get COVID. Like, and it's not just like, oh, I got COVID. I get the symptoms of COVID. My ass goes down. I went down from that shit. Like, I was like, fuck. So luckily for me, right? That's the reason I was there for 10 days because I had COVID. But luckily for me, like COVID wasn't that bad. I had like a fever for 2 hours, and then it was just like I'm just passed out for like 2 days, and then it was gone. So I don't know. I got that super mutant fucking immune system, but still, I was like, damn. Like I just didn't get Halloween. I guess fuck it. But there was still luckily some like haunted houses and like weird shit like available before that, and the rave was before Halloween anyway, so that was good. What else is there? Oh yeah, so this is the first time I ever flew on a plane by myself, right? And the reason I got COVID is because okay, so to get to Canada from where I'm from, it takes two flights, right? So you fly to one place, you wait, and then you fly again. So I flew to one place, and then I was waiting where my boarding pass told me to sit, right? I sat there, and then I passed out, right? I passed out in my arms, waiting for it, and I woke up like 2 minutes before I was ready to go. I was like, all right, let's go. And then I heard my name call on the comm. They're like, hey, fucking McDickelstein, you need to fucking come over here. I'm like, what? Like, I'm in my area. So I run over to the area, and they're like, oh, sorry, your plane left. I'm like, bitch, what do you mean my plane left? And they're like, yeah, you need to check your boarding pass to make sure that the gate doesn't change, like where you need to go doesn't change after you arrive. So I was like, oh, okay. So I just got stuck there for like 10 hours. And I 100% caught COVID because I got stuck there for 10 hours. Like, that's 100% why I fucking got it. Like, there's no doubt about it. Like, Zachary Whitaker, please report to Gate 1. I was like, oh shit, okay. Like, uh, uh, Seth never flew on a plane by himself, can't drive. Seth, are you 16? Yep, I guess so. I guess so. You still cool with 6 tons? Yeah. Um, yeah, I don't know. Although, for those of you who have had COVID, did you get like that weird sweating thing? Like you have to get COVID to know what I'm talking about, bruh. There's like you don't just sweat, okay? You don't just sweat. Like you're not just like sweaty or clammy, bro. It's like someone. I was laying in bed. It was like someone was pouring water on my back. Like it was like someone physically was pouring water on my back. Like that's how much it sweat out. Like it was weird. It was actually weird. It was not normal. And apparently everyone gets it. It's weird. The sweat. Yeah, it was insane. It was disgusting. I was just trying to lay in bed and like my bed would actually just get uncomfortable from how much fucking water poured off my body. Like yeah. Also, water in Canada tastes like spit. Like it doesn't matter where you get the water from. You can get the water from bottled water, you can get it from the tap, you can get it from fucking anything. It tastes like spit. It just does not taste the same. It tastes bad. It moose water. It tastes gross. It actually tastes nasty. It actually is just bad. Like the second I got home, I was like, damn, the air is clean. The water doesn't have taste. Like, oh my god, I'm home. Fuck, dude. Yeah, they must get those snow, like the water from the snow in their fucking street, right? Like, there's no way. Like, how do you know what spit tastes like? Did you know most human beings produce their own spit in their mouth? Did you know you have spit in your mouth right now? You see how like spit doesn't just like taste like water? Like it has like a different like texture to it. That's kind of how the Canada water's like. That motherfucker is not human. That is a chat AI that Google is testing in my chat. Google is testing an AI in my chat right now. That is not a human being. There's no way. There's no way, dude. Fuck it out. That's just too funny. What do you think about the Naruto announcement? I don't know what it is. Only in Ohio. Why is everyone saying Ohio jokes? What's in Ohio? What does it feel like to poop? Yeah. Glad to see you're okay, Seth. Yeah. Fucking Skinwalker in the chat. Actually, though. And other than that, so, oh yeah, when I got to Canada, right? So, they, there's this, like, I got this hotel. So I was in Edmonton, and I was staying in the mall. Like they had a hotel in the mall. So like in Edmonton, there's this like fucking super hotel. Well, super like mall. It's like bigger than any mall in Canada or whatever. And I was staying in the hotel there. It's called Fantasyland. Okay, so you can get like a space room. You can get an igloo room. You can get like these basically like gimmick rooms or whatever. And so when I first arrived there, it was like midnight, and then like I went to go get my room, and they're like, "All right, that'll be fucking $300 trillion." I'm like, "All right, here's my card," and they're like, "Your card declined," and I was like, "No way." I was like, "No way, dude." So I was stuck in a different country, and my card wasn't working. At like midnight, and in Canada, where it's like fucking like freezing everything by just existing. So I was just stuck outside freezing at midnight because my fucking card didn't work, and I had the money. No, I had the money. My card just wasn't working, so I like had to make a bunch of calls, and they're like, "Oh, we thought this was like fraudulent because it just randomly appeared in another country." I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about? Give me my fucking money!" Like, so I go up to the hotel. I go up to my Fantasyland hotel. By the way, I got the space room. I got the space room, like the outer space room, and it has like a giant jacuzzi in it and all kinds of shit. So I I'm like, all right, I'm pretty fucking cold from sitting out there. I might as well get the jacuzzi ready to go, right? So I turn on the jacuzzi, and it's just filled with hair and dirt. Like it's filled with like it looked like there was fucking cum in it. I was like, what the fuck is going on? So I was like, okay, like I guess no jacuzzi for the night, like I got the fucking cum tub. So I was like, all right, let me just take a shower. I'll just take a shower, or whatever. So I go to the shower or whatever, and bruh, the shower was ice cold. That shit was shooting fucking ice beam at me, dude. Like, and I was like, oh, it'll warm up, right? And I waited 5 minutes, and it just there's no hot water. So I had to take a fucking ice beam shower after like sitting outside at midnight in Canada for like fucking 30 minutes. I'm surprised I didn't get like fucking hypothermia. Like, goddamn, it was awful. No wonder I caught fucking COVID. Holy shit. People think because you have a million subs that you're a millionaire. I've made over $1 million. Yes. How do you write your scripts? With a keyboard, a notepad. Canadian, yeah, Canadians see that as hot water, right? Yeah. That room looked mid as fuck. It was pretty cool though. To just chilling. I wasn't staying in it. Like I was just like going to it and then like hanging out with friends or whatever. So the cum tub sounds lovely. Yeah, dude. It was pretty heat. It was a love hotel, dude. That they don't fucking yeah, to chill in. Yeah, exactly, to chill in for sure.